A possible new development on 66th Street and Park Avenue in West New York remains in limbo as the matter was carried to April 15th as a result of Monday's special Parking Authority meeting. After over an hour in closed session, always vocal resident Patrick Cullen argued that two members should not be able to vote on the project due to alleged conflicts of interest.
Jersey Local Government Ethics Law PL 1991 C29, which is also C40A colon 9-21-1 et sequence, talks about conflict of interest, and the members of this board are bound by that law. You can look it up if you need to. Mr. Armando Alvarez, did you buy a property at 6608 Lincoln Place that belonged to Mr. Acosta?
Armando, you don't have to respond. Just let him. It's not an interview.
Oh, all right, thank you.
You have 5 minutes to make a
Yes,
statement.
all right, yes. So Mr. Alvarez acknowledged that he bought that. He also bought a property at 55 Grant Place from Mr. Acosta. Both were done on a short sale. Both have multiple violations. The planning zoning board just gave the blessing to okay the 5514 property that Mr. Alvarez voted. So therefore, it's definitely a conflict of interest to him to vote on the 66th Parking Street matter, as well as any action terminating Mr. Rivera. The conflict of interest with the parking lot is because his property value is going to increase if Capodagli builds that parking lot. Therefore, sir, it is a conflict of interest. It is also a conflict of interest of Mr. Rodriguez, Henry Rodriguez, who is the son-in-law of Ruben Vargas, to vote on this board, because Ruben Vargas' wife, who had a suspicious 3-alarm house fire reported in the Jersey Journal of December 5th of 2012, that's right next to my family, that could have killed my family because of that suspicious house fire in nature. His property value will go up if that Capodagli property is built as well. So there's definite conflict of interest. There's only 4 zoning planning parking authority members present. Therefore, since Mr. Rodriguez and since Mr. Alvarez cannot vote on these matters, I suspect that you do not have a quorum here. You have to recuse yourself. Therefore, only 2 people can possibly vote to do the mayor's dirty work. Therefore, you have to recuse yourselves on these matters.
The developer in question, George Capodagli, the owner of Capodagli property, defended the project as well as his interest in the town of West New York.
I've been in this town for over 10 years under various administrations. We built a bunch of 2 families up on Polk Street when we started. I own a 318 54th Street. We own a building there right next to the school that one of my daughters lives in. My other daughter lives in the building that we're in. It's not a place that we're just casual visitors to. It's a place that my family lives. I have five children, 4 grandchildren, a 5th part coming. So this is very serious to us. I don't really like my name smudging because I've been in this business since 1970 and I have never had anything misconstrued. It's not me. You know, I'm very transparent. But to answer your question succinctly is that we are prepared to, we believe enough in this town, without the pilot, the long-term tax abatement, we're prepared to go forward with this project. And we are there now. You know, the plans are filed. We should be heard in the next 2 or 3 months. You're looking at a number also, just for the public, you're saying, well, he paid $2 million. That's not what it paid. I also paid for 70 parking spaces that are worth anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 a space, which you're going to get, which is another $2.5 to $3 million. When you add that to the value of what you're getting, the city is going to get an asset that's probably going to generate $500,000 to $600,000. Whether or not it's congested or whatever, that's another whole issue. But the value, the merits of the business are just simple. Whether or not the congestion is good, whether or not West New York wants to go in that direction, that's the Board of Adjustment's call.
Even after a lengthy discussion, Board Attorney Elnardo Webster felt the board still needed clarity on several issues before voting on this particular matter.
I think that for us, because of the timeline and extended timeline, I think we need to talk about some litigation options, and we need to talk about whether I think we need to understand now. So what I think I need to understand to better advise you is I need a letter from them explaining to them what they propose their timeline to finish the project, to complete the project, to fund our buyout. So, I mean, I think that's kind of where we are, so I think if we can get that information, then we can have some further discussion about what our options are and that would impact my advice to you.
Would that also include an appraisal like we talked about?
Well, we've already authorized that, so
Okay.
I don't know where Chairman asked that earlier. I said that we had not had a lot of conversation the last couple of weeks, so I don't know if we've done that. I know we authorized it at the last meeting. So I think that for me, counsel, I'd like to get a letter from you and your client advising us as to what the timeline is that you are proposing going forward to get your approvals and to get the building built and meet our contractual time frame. So we say, when we get CO, like tell us when you think you're going to get CO. We're trying to figure out, what our cash flow revenue is. We're trying to understand that. So if you could let us know in a letter so that I can appraise the board, I can apprise the board of what we're trying to figure out, and then we'll get back to you.
The board agreed unanimously to carry the resolution to the next meeting. I'm John Otis, Hudson County TV, West New York.